Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Alright, I got a handful of rocks I'm going to cut today. Let's walk through them and see what we're dealing with. These are nodules from the Gila Bend Mountain Range area, just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Let's walk through real quick and see what we're going to be cutting. Alright, now obviously this is a broken nodule. Looks normal back here. Got a little bit of a window. Looks like banding and some quartz. And this side, some banding and some quartz. So I'm going to cut it somewhere back here. Maybe right past that fracture on that side through that thick part. All the way around. You have to go through that fracture, obviously. Hopefully it doesn't go through. Okay, another quartz nodule with agate around it, but this has got that neat white band around it. And then some colorful, well, when I say colorful, kind of an interesting gray with maybe some floating orbs. I can't tell. And I see that on both sides. So we'll cut that down the middle. Obviously that's what we're gonna get, but I'm hoping it's a cool looking cut and it'll look nice, polished as a specimen. All right, next up, I got that gorgeous banded pattern on that broken end. Decent size here. And on this side, it's got a weird break, but it's got a lot of quartz in it, along with some banding. So that is strange. So I want to cut this one a little further back towards that window. I see a possible fracture back here. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. Can't tell if that goes through or not. Can only see it, and I see a couple others as well. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about those. If I get a fracture, then not much I can do about it. But yeah, I'm going to cut it somewhere back here and hope I get a good banded pattern. That's nice. Okay, next up, dark husk, and then banding all the way through, it looks like. It's weathered, so it's hard to say what this one's gonna be. It's also got a weird break, and it's got like a section where it's gonna be moss, probably. So how do I want to cut this? I don't know, maybe just cross that way. All right, an interesting looking nodule. Lots of windows, lots of banding showing. All right, got a little geode vug there as well on the end. What looks like a fracture. Yeah, and another window. I'm not sure how to cut this one. These windows everywhere. And possible fractures. I'm wondering if I cut it up this way, I'm gonna have to go through a window somewhere, but I think maybe parallel to this as much as possible. Let's see if we can get a full pattern. And maybe those fractures aren't that bad, we'll see. Okay. It's a nice looking nodule on the outside. Got some banding on the inside. This is almost a 90-degree break here. Not sure, but I'd like to try to cut diagonally that way and get that pattern. All right, got a funky looking little nodule here. I don't know if that's a window or not. That's definitely a window. Not sure what's going on in this one. Doesn't look banded, so I don't know what this is. So, all right, I'm just gonna try to cut parallel to that face. If this is a window, I'm gonna have to cut through it a little bit. But if it's not banded, I don't know if it matters. All right, this one's kind of self-explanatory. It's geode with a crystal bug center, banding around the outside edge. It does look like it's got a fracture, goes at least that far. I wonder if I can cut that. I gotta set this down. Like right back here at the end of that fracture, or if I'm still gonna be in that bug. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try to cut it right through here. An interesting nodule. And then a window. Banding. Nice quartz center, looks clean. Banding goes all the way around it. We do have a void here. Almost perfectly square with rounded corners. I wonder if that was from another crystal that, like maybe a calcite crystal that eroded away. I don't know. But I'm gonna try to cut parallel to that back here somewhere. I don't know how deep that goes, but if I go back far enough, hopefully I'll miss it. And I think this is the last one out of this bunch. We do have some banding showing here and here. What I'm thinking is I got this little section where it's mostly husk in between these two windows. There are a little bit of windowing going on up here, but if I cut in between those all the way around, I think that's my best bet. Okay. I think I went through all these. So yeah, let's go get these on the saw, get them cut, and we'll see what's on the inside. Be right back. All right, back from the saw. So we'll start with this one. We knew it was gonna be quartz. It's a matter of how much banding and how good it is. Let's see what we got. Well, it's a fair amount of banding, but it's not a lot of contrast. Translucency on the edge makes it hard to see, but it's mostly white and clear. Clean on the quartz. Look nice polished. It's a nice specimen, actually. Pretty cool. All right, next up. All right, so this one, try as I might, I tried cutting next to this. I cut a little too close, unfortunately, making this really thin on the edge. That's a shame, but let's see how it came out. I'm gonna start with this side. All right, so you got this banding going around the outside. It's got all those healed fractures that have turned white. It makes that really cool looking. And you got that white band in between that and the quartz. And the quartz is really clean. So I could probably flat polish that, but might lose a little bit of this corner right here. Let's look at the other side. This is the thick side, so definitely gonna polish that one. That is super cool. usually like quartz, but I like this one. That's gonna polish up nice. A little thicker on this side than this side, but it's all right. That's just a specimen. All right. That came out good. Okay. Next up, another one that's going to be quartz with banding around it. Not sure if we cut below that. Let's see. All right, I cut below it. It didn't show up in here. The banding is really pretty. It's got a little bit of shadow banding going on in it. Nice quartz. They look good polished. Yeah, that is a beautiful stone. Look at the shadow banding up here. Nice. Okay. Next up. Again, I still don't know what that is. Let's see what it looked like cut. Okay. So that was a little bit of a window that we cut through. It's agate, but it's not banded. It's like those snowflakes almost. In kind of a spherical fan shape. Might have a purple color to it. All right. It's interesting. I like that. It came out pretty cool looking. This side's got a little bit of the host rock in it back here. That's still polished up all right. That's from the saw blade, that black mark. All right, don't know what this was, but pretty neat. Okay. All right, this is that little geode. Let's see how far back I ended up cutting. Okay, so it's still a geode pocket. It's about 50-50 with quartz and banding around the geode pocket. This one's got some crud in it. We can definitely clean that out. That looked good polished. And then same with this side. Some more crud in there, but nice little geode with a crystal center. Just need to clean that out. I'll set this one aside so I can drop that in some acid or something. See if that'll work. All right, next up. So this is the one that kind of had the banding, but it had a weird angle the way it was broken. I did my best to cut back behind it. Did a really good job. Yay for once. All right, let's see how this came out. Not what I was expecting. It does have some healed fractures in it, but it's got a really nice banded pattern. Some moss agate. And some bots back in there maybe. Some bullseyes up here. Let's look at this side. This is the thicker side. Just to remind you, I thought I was going to get that. That is really cool. Got shadow banding in it as well. So even with the healed fractures, that is a really neat looking stone. Nice. Okay. This little dark one that we knew was going to be banded. I did get a good cut. Let's see how it came out. Ooh. Super cool. Banded pattern with a moss bottom. Look at the color and the orbs and the banding on that. And this side's a little nicer. Wow. Some of these Arizona stones are just amazing. I know they don't have the color like the Mexican agates do, but they're almost as interesting to me anyways. It'd be better if they had color in them like the Mexican agates, but this is nice. Love that side. Has a nice stone. All right. So what do we got here? So this one, I knew I was going to cut through some windows, but I wanted to cut as parallel to that big window and that big window as possible. So you can tell up on top, the weathered window got cut through, that little bit of windowing and that little bit on the bottom. So let's see how that came out. Oh, not bad at all. I mean, definitely lost a little bit of pattern at the top, it looks like. But most of the main pattern is still in there. It does have a little fracture on the bottom, but good color and very interesting banding. Wow, look at that. How those two connect. And then this side. Pattern gets a little bigger. That's nice. That is a super cool stone. Definitely worth polishing. This one and the last one too. All right, two left. So we had that window and that window. A little bit of a section between the two windows with husk on it still. Perfect for cutting between the two windows. Now I had to cut through that, unfortunately, but let's see how it came out. All right, gorgeous color, nice contrast bands. Now at some point there was a fracture going sideways. I must have cut right next to it, and you can see some of the staining that came into the stone there. It's like just on the edge of a fracture, healed fracture with good color coming in. Pretty cool. A little less of the staining on this side, but a little bit of it. Wow, that is really pretty. All right, not bad. All right, last up. Okay, so we had that weird broken end with the quartz, mostly, and what looked like maybe a floater. A little bit of banding on the outside edge, but on this other end, even though it's weathered, it looks like a full banded pattern. So this was my thought process. It had some lines that looked like maybe there were some fractures, so I couldn't avoid cutting them. So I'm just like, fine, I'm gonna cut it right in the middle of that thick part. So if it's no good, I can take another slice and see if I can't make it better. So let's see if I need another slice. Okay. A little bit of quartz, but that actually looks cool. I don't think I need another cut. I mean, can't cut this side anymore. The quartz is just going to get bigger. So that's really pretty. That'll clean up. That's going to get polished for sure. And then this side, quartz got a little smaller. I think if I would have a little further this way, I would have missed it. So maybe in the future, before I do anything with this, I'll take another cut and I can do a freeform cabochon with the slab. And then maybe the heel will be completely banded. Or I might just polish it the way it is because I don't mind that quartz. It looks pretty cool. All right. That is the last stone in this set. So thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.